Confidence is about how you see yourself. Welcome to the Uniquely Confident Podcast.
Positive energy and good vibrations from me to you. This is RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman. And yes, you know what it is. It's another dope episode of the Uniquely Confident Podcast. I am grateful to be here another day with you guys, just to bring back some more of that good old information, some of that good old value, and some of that good old TLC, y'all. So today I'm super excited because I got a homegirl, a sister on the line that's about to bring so much value to this call. I cannot wait. But everybody understands that we must take the time to do the protocol around here, which is talk to the Father and pay our sponsors around here, because they do a great job of keeping us happy. So we got to keep them happy. So with that being said, Heavenly Father, we thank you for another day. Thank you for another second, another hour, another moment, just to be in your presence to say thank you. We understand life itself is precious. We don't take it for granted. So right now in this space, we want to ask you for forgiveness for everything we've done and everything we might do going forward. Right now, we ask you for the space and the grace to grow, go across these airways, that we may be a blessing to somebody else, to help inspire them, motivate them, encourage them to be a better person than who they were yesterday. And these things we do pray in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Okay, so with that being said, now it's time for the sponsors of this beautiful, beautiful podcast. Check this out. For the last 3.5 months, my body has went into a complete makeover mode. I went from dad body back to almost, back in my sexy again. But it's all thanks in part to the guys over at Quantum Fitness. So listen, all your fitness needs, whether it be questions, motivation, inspiration, or just some flat out kicking the behind workouts, Quantum Fitness is the way to go. Check him out over on his page, Quantum Fitness. And if you want to get at him directly, you can DM me and I can put you in contact with him directly. He has phenomenal services and phenomenal prices. So if you use the word unique, he'll give you 20% off those unique prices. So come through, check him out, shop black, shop smart, shop Quantum Fitness, and tell him I sent you. The next paid sponsor of this beautiful podcast, like I'm wearing something that she produced, or I'm sitting in front of a sign that she's produced, or even today, I'm drinking a cup that she produced. Cassie's Classic Design. So for all your print needs, whether it be cups, like I showed you, t-shirts, hats, you name it, she prints it. So for all your all your design needs, holler at Cassie's Classic Design. She's on Instagram at Cassie's_classic_design. And if you want to get at her directly and not on Instagram for whatever reason, it's Cassie's Classic Design at gmail.com. Yes, those things are out of the way. And I'm super duper excited that I don't have to wait any longer, because I'm bringing out my homegirl, Coach LaShana West. What it do, Coach?
Hey, what's up, y'all?
What it do, Coach? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good, and I just appreciate that you started it off with prayer. I have my head bowed. I was praying. I'm loving the energy already.
Indeed. One thing I've learned is that if I put him before me, nothing else can go wrong. So I'd much rather do what I know best, is make sure that God's in my presence wherever I go. So I used to be ashamed of it, Coach, to be honest. I used to be ashamed of my relationship with God. And now as a man, as an older adult, and somebody who's more confident in himself, I realize there's nothing to be ashamed of. And I'm definitely no longer ashamed of my relationship with God. So me praying and me doing it before people is actually a step up in my confidence. So people might think, oh, he does that for show, form, and fashion. No, I'm really doing it to elevate myself and also show God that I'm committed.
Oh, I love that. I love it.
All right. So Coach, really quick. So tell everybody who you are really quick and where you're from and what you do.
Yeah. So my name is LaShana West, aka Miss West Creative Coach, and I'm a mindset and clarity strategist for entrepreneurs to help them build offers that are in alignment with their core. So my background is mental health. Like, I'm literally actually a therapist. And over the past 5 years, I've transitioned to serve entrepreneurs and creatives. I call myself a transplant because I was born in Germany, raised all over, but I claim Kansas when it comes to where are you from, because that's kind of where I was from elementary to high school. But I am super excited to be connecting with you and your audience today. And the topic, let me zip so you can introduce the topic, but I'm so excited about the topic.
Yes. Well, the topic is confidence, guys. And you guys know this platform is all about character and confidence building. So I'm only going to bring people on this platform that understand it, right? Live it, and actually have understanding of where it comes from and how it affects their lives. Because I know that a lot of things happen throughout our lives that cause us to have confidence and also to lose confidence in ourselves. So I want our guests and our listeners just to be understand that confidence is something that we all have to deal with. We all have to deal with it. And if we don't deal with it, there are repercussions behind it. But the plus side of it is dealing with it and making sure that it helps you move forward effectively in your lifestyle. So first question for you today about the character and confidence building, Ms. West. How has confidence affected your life?
Wow. So I would say that confidence has impacted my life initially negatively, but it reframed and turned into the positive. So growing up, I lacked confidence. And I share this story that I dropped 3 speech classes in college. Like, did not want to speak in front of people, was terrified. And once you drop a certain amount of classes, you get a withdrawal, and that affects your financial aid and all of
Right.
the things. I didn't care. Like, I literally did not want to do speech class and talk in front of people. And if you're wondering, well, why? Like, you literally get paid now to do that. And it was due to past childhood trauma, past experiences of being bullied. And the thing about it is, every single thing that we go through either enhances our confidence or impedes our confidence, right?
True.
And it's up to us on how we're going to leverage the experience. But growing up as when we're kids, we don't know nothing about mindset and leveraging. We just experience the experience.
Very true. Very true. But anyway, no, that's true, Coach. And to be honest, circumstances and situations, right? The things that we've been through and experiences is what makes us go into those I call hermit shells. Like we actually don't want to come out and don't want to show our confidence. But can you talk really quick about some of those things that you might have felt like that caused you not to want to express yourself and be more confident in yourself?
Yeah, for sure. So I think we're in our head a lot. Like right
Mm,
now, I could literally be in my head saying, "Oh my God, what question is he gonna ask me? I hope I answer it right." Nobody really knows what we're thinking internally. And I think our inner critic is saying things to us and either pumping us up or pumping us down. And so we have to be able to combat that inner critic 25/8, right? And so whether I didn't get the warm and fuzzies and the affirmations and the positive stuff at home, or whether being bullied kind of really impacted me over time, but literally in college, let's say I'm 19, 20, whatever happened, it impacted me long term. And I think that we have to be able to identify, okay, is this true? If you feel like you're not pretty, or you're quote unquote fat, or you're not smart, is it true, or are you just making that up?
mm,
Do you have supporting data,
yes.
or are you telling yourself that, which then creates a false narrative? So I was telling myself false things like, oh, they're going to be staring at me. Oh, they're going to be focusing on whatever imperfections I
Mhm.
had at the time, right? And so what that did is it impeded opportunities
Right.
and my future at that time.
Yo, Coach. So I was waiting for you to say it. Like my favorite thing that you say is about that data. Oh my God, do you have any supporting data?
Right.
Because the first time I ever heard you say that, it gave me such a freedom. Like it gave me such a relief. Like, yo, I don't have any. I don't have any supporting data
Yep.
of what this inner critic is saying to me. Like I don't have it, and being that I don't have it, it can't be true,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because facts you can prove, right?
Right.
Facts are provable. And if you can't prove what you're sitting here and letting your self-critic say to you, it's obviously not true. And then
Yes.
like I've learned also with the acronym is, I know it sounds so cliche, but fear is really false evidence appearing real. And when you really break that down, it's like, yo, that's false evidence. That means it's not real. Like it doesn't even exist. And here I am being held back and I even held hostage, right? We hold our futures hostage to something that's not even real. That's
Yes.
crazy.
Yes. And I'll even share, because I was going to therapy a couple years ago, and I was sharing with my therapist. I was like, I hate talking in front of people. And I was explaining the story. And there's some deeper reasonings as to
Of
why,
course.
right? But she literally said, "LaShana, do you know when most people are talking that the audience is not even paying attention or focusing on them? They're
Mm.
thinking about what they got to do for dinner. Did the kids clean their room? I can't wait to get out of here. What is she really talking about? They're not even hyper focused on what we think that they're focused on.
Right.
But we think that they are. And so we create this hostage, this cage.
Yes.
That ain't nobody even really checking for you because they checking for their own stuff.
Right. Yo, that's
that has helped me so freaking much, yo.
Yo.
We think that people are like this.
They really not.
They not really caring because they have their own junk that they're trying to work through themselves.
Right.
So let's just all come together and support one another and just stand fully in their power. And that's literally what I do in my work every day.
Yo, coach, I'm sitting here, we got goosebumps because it's like this excites me because I'm sitting here like, yo, do we really understand that nobody cares as much as we think they do? Like, we're really in our minds. And I had a conversation with one of my guys I coached just 2 weeks ago, and he's like, yo, I got a big wedding coming up. I'm like, are you getting married? He was like, no. I'm like, so what are you so nervous about? When I walk in the room, bro, let me help you out. When you walk in the room, maybe one person might notice. And then as soon as they notice, they're going to go back to their conversation. They're not, right. Nobody's really in their mind worrying about what you're doing, thinking, or saying at all.
Nope. And even if they are,
right.
What's it to you? Is it going to kill you? Is it going to stop your day? Right. So I think we just have to reframe our mindset to know that every situation is a learning opportunity.
Yes.
Right. Yes. No matter what.
Oh man, coach, super value right there, because I've learned that I don't take L's no more. I don't lose. I just learn. Like I don't even know what a loss is. Like it's this opportunity for me to get better. That's what I see it as. And that right there is nothing more than a mindset shift. I want to point that out. Like me, from where I was mentally 2 years ago about thinking about losses and wins and learning is totally different than where I am now. And the only thing different was the fact that I shifted my mind over a period of time. It didn't happen overnight. Like, coach, I want to speak about that too. Like, we hear on the social media places, we hear all these things about shift your mind, raise your confidence, and all these things. I want to be transparent. These things don't happen overnight.
No.
One of my favorite slogans is, only thing that happens overnight is eye boogers and orgasms if you get lucky. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it.
Right. Yes, that's about it.
So I just want to touch on, how long did it take you to build the confidence that you have right now in yourself?
I'll be honest with you, it's a lifelong journey. I don't care if you're a millionaire, billionaire, 9-to-5er, or you don't have a job. Like, we all have to work on building confidence every single day, right? That's if you have a growth mindset. That's if you're open to change, open to learning. If you have a fixed mindset and you're very closed, then you're going to stay where you are, right? So I think every milestone that we reach, we have a different set of confidence building and mindset shifts that we have to experience. So even though, yes, I teach people how to build confidence, I teach people how to get clarity and build core offers, because I'm always learning. We're always learning as entrepreneurs. We're more susceptible and more vulnerable to the negative thoughts and the limiting beliefs and the imposter syndrome, because territory is continuously new.
Yes.
And that's okay. I'd rather be learning than sitting there being stagnant and not stretching. So it's an ongoing, lifelong thing that I'm experiencing right now, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, and that's the key point I wanted to touch on, the fact that it's a lifelong journey. Like, I feel like I'm doing now these days is debunking these myths, coach, that I'm reading on the internet, and I'm seeing, oh yeah, do this and next week you'll be confident, or next month do this and you'll be this. It's like, no, that's not the case. We got to be real and transparent. Nothing happens overnight. Like, the man that people are seeing right now on this microphone and speaking over this time you hear me is not the same man I was 2 years ago. Like, you wouldn't want to hear me speak 2 years ago, because what I was saying, it didn't bring no value. I didn't have anything to offer. But over my experiences, like Coach said, throughout the experiences of life, and the fact that I've shifted a few things in my mindset, I'm in a space now where I can pour out a little bit of value. I can bring something to the market, but only through my experiences. It wasn't a get rich quick scheme. It wasn't a change your mindset overnight program. It was literally putting the work in. night after night in this very office, shedding tears, shedding old thought processes. It was real. Like, and I just feel like we gotta like just get to the point where we're showing what it really takes to get to where we've gotten. Because if I look back now, Coach, and think back 2 years ago, I had a different mindset about what I thought success was because how I saw it, like how it was presented to me. Like, oh, well, you do this and this happens. No, yeah, it takes you doing that repetition over time.
Exactly. You know, I always share try, test, and tweak.
Yes.
Literally. And that's not just with business, that's with parenting, relationships,
Yes.
Everything. You try it, see what works for you, see what doesn't. You're testing it out, putting your toe in there, assessing, doing your market research, going back to the drawing board and tweaking it.
Right.
Everything is try, test, and tweak. Nothing is if you do A and do B, you're going to get C. That's false. There's a whole lot of letters in between that we did not even mention because it's a process.
That process, everything is a process. Every single thing. Like I've learned to, and it sounds cliche once again, but I realized that everything that's good sounds cliche, but enjoying the process and learn to love the process. Yeah. Because once you begin to enjoy and learn the process, things become easy. Things become to happen and systematically. Things will happen to you with pace and right timing. That's the one thing I'm seeing right now. The fact that I've done so much work over the last 2 years, this last year has been the catch up of all that work. So I'm being blessed for the work I've put in years ago now. Yep. And that right there is encouraging to me. So I want everybody out there that's listening to us, please stick with your process. Stick with it. And if you don't have one, get one, because it's going to make your life so much easier. It's going to help you in so many ways.
And I would also say, be self-reflective and open to assessing the process ongoing.
Right.
That way you can fine tune it. You can make sure it's cutting edge, it's innovative, and it's the best out there. But if we just get comfortable with what we have, I mean, as you know, things change overnight. So we always have to be self-reflective to assess it. And I always say feedback is your friend. But I haven't always felt that way. Like I used to be very closed to feedback, to where accepting feedback was on my personal plan in corporate. And it's because I was just super passionate about what I was doing. And if you came to talk to me about something I wasn't doing right, I would immediately tense up, immediately have a response. Right. But guess what I do now, RJD?
Receive.
I receive, but I also ask for it.
I solicit
feedback now. Hey, do you have any feedback for me? Hey, how do you think that went? And it opens up a communication space and opens up even more room for learning.
Oh, man. And that's one of the yesterday I did a live, and I did the 8 practical ways to build confidence. And the last one was to learn. And it wasn't learning new things or new trades. It was learn something about you, right? Ask yourself a question. Why am I the way I am? And what you just broke down, Coach, was one of the most tremendous ways of looking at introspection. Because if something happens to you and it causes you to feel a certain way, instead of constantly going through that and allowing that trigger to affect you, ask yourself why. Where is that coming from? What is making me feel this when this happens? Yep. And when I actually learned that thought process and learned how to do it, I realized what it was. The actual trigger was a past pain that I hadn't gotten over yet, or it was literally an insecurity that hadn't been dealt with. And that kind of segues into my next question for you is, could you help me explain to our viewers the difference between being insecure and having insecurities?
Wow. So yes, I think it's like tangible. That's the insecurities and your whole overall being insecure. So I can be insecure, but my insecurities are the specific things. My weight, the way I look, I stutter, or I have this birthmark on my face. That's an insecurity. That's a tangible thing. But if I'm insecure, that's more so like as a person, as a being. I mean, it's in the same family, but I feel like, in my opinion, I'd rather have the tangible things than me as a whole person feeling insecure, because then no matter what I look like, no matter how much money I make, there's no tangibles. It's just me being insecure as a person.
Oh man. And I'm so glad you broke that down that way, coach, because that's the difference. Like I tell all my guys, it's a difference. We all have insecurities. Every last one of us. My feet are one of my worst insecurities. I've never liked them. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like my feet are the ugliest things in the world. I barely ever wear flip flops until recently. Now I just don't care anymore. But it was something I was very insecure about my whole entire life. But it's okay to have insecurities, but it's not okay to be insecure because
Right.
when you're insecure as an individual, that means you're not okay. That means as the person, right, as the individual, as the spirit, that you're not all right with who you are. And
Right.
that's some real work that needs to be done. So I always tell people, if you have an insecurity about the way or a feature you got, that's between you and God. But and even then, you got to get over it and let that go, because once you accept it, right, coach, once we begin to accept whatever that insecure thing is, the
Yep.
world begins to accept it. Like my feet, I walk around now flip flops, and guess what? Nobody even looks. Like I
Nobody
used,
cares.
who cares about my feet? Like I never, coach. When I was younger, I used to think everybody was looking. Ew, look at your feet. Ew, look at your feet. Nobody cares about your feet.
Right. And I would also share that it's okay to have moments
Mm-hmm.
of feeling insecure, but let's not take that moment into a lifetime. Let's
Right.
not extend the duration. For example, if I'm nervous about being on a podcast, before I get on, I might have a moment of being nervous, a moment of over analyzing, overthinking. But that doesn't mean I'm going to say, "Hey RJD, I can't do the podcast. I'm not feeling well." Hey
Right.
RJD, no, I can't do the podcast because I have an appointment. I'm lying to get my way out of the opportunity. But now that you're here, you push through and you see that that moment was just some
Mm.
natural energy. It was just some vigor. You were excited, and it wasn't controlling you and your actions and your behavior.
Right. Ah, that moment. Don't turn that moment into a lifetime. Yeah, that's a bar,
Exactly.
coach.
Exactly.
That's a bar. Oh my
So,
god.
right, post that on my story right now.
Yo, listen,
One
yo, do it, and I'm tagging you in it because that's a bar right there. Oh man, don't let that moment turn into a lifetime, because we really do that. Like, coach, I want to even talk to you about this because it happened in real time. One of my guys. So after the call, I was like, yo, what are you about to go do? He's like, yo, I'm about to go get ready. I'm going to the mall. I'm going to search the mall for some girls. You know what? I ain't got no haircut. Nah, my hair ain't right. Some shorty gonna laugh at me. I ain't going. And I watched that in real time. I
Mhm.
watched him, the excitement of him going, and then his brain snatching his joy from him, and then
Oh,
making him stay in this place of, oh, in that moment. He turned that moment in that. If I didn't allow him, I say, wait a minute, hold on, young king. What supporting data do you have that somebody's gonna turn you down because you don't have a haircut?
I
Like,
don't
where'd you
support data.
you know what I'm saying? Where'd you get that from? Has that ever happened to you? And he was like, nah. Have you ever experienced it? Nah. So where'd you get it from? Well, I don't know. That's it. That's that thought process that out of nowhere, it's not even yours. It doesn't even belong to you. Those thoughts, those negative thoughts don't even belong to us. So we then take those thoughts that don't belong to us and wear them throughout the day.
We wear them, we sleep with them, we wake up with them, we wash our body with them, and
Right.
it turns into a little monster,
Yes, indeed.
right? And so and that's why self-awareness, like you've taken the DISC assessment, and I'm DISC certified. Self-awareness is key. If you're
Yeah,
self-aware, you can beat, combat, and conquer anything because you're
absolutely.
cognizant of what's going on.
Oh man, and that awareness, coach, that segues into the next question. So with awareness, right, you would have to understand that there's something uniquely about you. There's something unique about Coach LaShana West that makes you to have the confidence that you have. So
Mhm.
on this uniquely confident podcast, Coach, what makes you unique?
Oh, I love that. I would say my trauma makes me unique.
Wow,
Yep. Yep.
another bar. Talk
My
to me nice.
Matt, you know what? Hold up. Hold up. I done said 2 bars on this thing.
I'm telling you, you on
My
fire today.
my trauma, and I'm dilly and dallying of saying my past trauma or my trauma. I'll say my past trauma. My past trauma makes me unique because it taught me that I am the dopest chick in the game to
Mm,
been able to have overcome all of the junk,
right.
and I'm still standing and I'm still serving. Like literally, when my book comes out, y'all gonna be like, "What? Wait. Turn the page. What?"
Bring that
Right?
back.
And that's why I always have to remind us: think back to what you've already come through, and you will see your current is so minute. It's
Facts.
super small. It's irrelevant because you already have conquered the hard stuff. So tap back into that same stuff, and that's what makes me unique. My past trauma.
Yo, coach. Yo, you know what? You on fire today because like what you just said was what I've been preaching for the last few weeks. Touch those receipts. Go back. Go back into that drawer of
Yo,
receipts and
yo,
start paying attention to the things, the price you've paid for the things you have currently.
already.
It's expensive. The confidence that you have right now is expensive. You paid a lot for
Preach.
it. Yo, it's so crazy.
Like, so here's the deal. We're not charging for our current service. We're charging for our past experience. We're charging for our past learning opportunities and past trauma we've been able to move through so we can share our story, teach you how we did it, inspire you so you can implement what we're teaching. That's what we're literally charging for. And guess what, RJD? You really can't put a price on that.
Really can't. Really.
You
And you know
can't.
what's so crazy? I had a hard time with pricing my programs. I'm gonna be very transparent. I had a hard time. And you know, coaches got on me, you're undervaluing you and nobody's gonna take you seriously. But then I realized, what did I go through to get this information? What kind of experience, what kind of life hell sent me through to get what I've gotten? And I'm like, wait a minute, no. And in order for somebody to take it seriously, you got to charge them. Like it has to, in order to get some kind of effect out of someone, you have to give them something and they have to give you something in return. That's a sacrifice for them to really pay attention to whatever it is you're saying. So I realized I was doing my clients a disservice by not undercharging them. And once I began to realize that, I was like, wait a minute. Okay. I raised the price and guess what? The people kept coming. And I was like, wait, you didn't stop coming because the price went up? No, it's because it's the value. And shout out to Jose. Jose says, as long as the value is in place, the price is never a question.
Facts. And I also shared this, and I can't remember who it was. I can't give them their credit for the bar, but I was like, yeah, I just want to get paid my worth. And they said, you'll never get paid your worth. And I was like, what you mean? It was like, because there's no price on that. So set a price that you're comfortable with, because we are never going to get paid our worth.
Once again, the lawn service is getting busy. But no, that's a fact, coach. There's no way possible, right? Because let's think about this for a second. Even in the 10-year gap, right? Let's talk about a decade, the last 10 years of our life. You can't put a price tag even on that short period of time.
No.
Like that's invaluable. The things that the experience, that the life lessons we've learned over this last 10 years is priceless. And that's why I'm so okay now, especially in the space of where we're as coaches to say, you know what? It's not about the price. It's about the value. It's about the space. I'm going to take you from where you are now currently to I'm going to get you to where you want to be in a shorter period amount of time. Because if you want to take the 20 years it took me to learn what I learned, more power to you.
Right.
I'm not gonna beat you in the head with it. But if you wanted a shorter period, right? And because the one thing I've learned too, coaches, pick up a book. If you want to take a gap and make a space shorter, can you hear me?
Yes.
They're loud, aren't they?
Actually, no.
Oh, wonderful. Good. I'll just edit that out. So the books that we read are literally learning curves.
Yep.
The more we read, the shorter we have our curve to get to where we want to get to. And that's why I'm learning this even through our coaching. Coach, is like our unique talents and our gifts and the thing that we've been through is what we're helping our clients with every single day. And it's not about the price that we lay out in front of them. It's about the value that we're presenting to them in our experience, in our coaching. So
let me add one. Can I add one thing to that?
Sure, absolutely.
And that's why, and I just went over the art of storytelling last night in my coaching program for my crew. That's why storytelling is so important, because I don't know what you've been through. I don't know what Keisha has experienced. All I see is the current. But when we tap back and share and do some storytelling, that takes me on the journey. So then it's a connection, and I resonate, and I'm ready to invest because now I see me in you.
Yo, Coach, the art of storytelling. I'm so mad I missed that one. Yo, because
It's on
that's
the
something.
IGTV. It's on the IGTV.
Oh, so that's my homework tonight. Then I'll be on it. That's a fact. Because for real, like I've even learned that myself. How I spent money, right? Like I've spent money on coaching programs and other things because I've heard the person's story.
Yep.
I've heard a preview of what they've been through, and that was enough for me to say, you know what, I'm going to invest because why? It resonated with me. It made me feel something, and that's the one thing I'm learning too. It's about feelings, Coach. We don't go through life for just things to happen to us, right?
No.
We do things for the feelings that those things give us. For instance, I want to buy a brand new Porsche. Now, I don't want the Porsche because it's just a car. No, I want the Porsche for the feeling it gives me when I get into it, when I see it, when I drive past it, when somebody compliments the car. I
Right.
want the feeling that it gives me. And once I realized and said to myself, we do everything for a feeling. Even this podcast, Coach, we're sitting here right now giving the value away because we love the feeling it gives us to make sure that we're giving value into the marketplace. We
Right.
love that feeling. It's something that gives us a great feeling. And we do it consistently through our platforms, through coaching, because we like the feeling it gives us. So once I tapped into that, I was like, yo, if I can start tapping into people's feelings and emotions, I can create more of an impact.
Exactly.
And but that also tied into why now, Coach, I pray before I do certain things. It's because like you can resonate with that. You understand like, yo, I have a relationship with God myself. So so does this young man too. I'm gonna follow him because he references God. It's different things, especially now, just me being myself on a regular basis, that I've become more accustomed and more calm with being who I am because there are more people looking for me. And
Yep.
if I'm not being who I am, can they find me?
Bar. I always say that there's people out there looking for you, but they can't find you because you're not showing up. You're letting imposter syndrome and lack of confidence stop you from showing up, so they can't find you, right?
Right.
And like literally, storytelling is a whole nother podcast, but I am still working on integrating that more, and that's why I love coaching. We get to double dip.
Yes.
As
Yes, we
we're
do.
learning and teaching, we're literally our own target market. Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
I am my personal avatar.
Okay. So that's why we know exactly what to say, exactly what the pain points are, and exactly what we need to work on.
Right.
When I talk to people, I never be like, you. I use a collaborative word, we, because
Yes.
I'm with y'all.
Correct.
We
Coach,
together.
let me tell you, that's at every one of that coach in the first two sessions, the first thing I say to them is, don't put me on a pedestal. Do me a favor. Get me off of any kind of mental pedestal you have me on, because number one, I don't want to fall from grace.
Yeah.
Number two, the only thing different between me and you is the time. I got this information a little sooner than you did. That's it. That's the only thing different between us and anyone else we have information that somebody else wants and the information that we want that someone else has. They got to it a little sooner than we get. That's the only difference.
Yeah. And also, RJD, we may have gotten to the information at the same time, but we might be dissecting and perceiving it differently.
Correct.
And the
Correct.
other person, the coach, whoever, might be able to break it down to where it's more palatable and able to be received, right?
Right. Absolutely.
And so I would say that at the end of the day, we choose people that we relate with, that we resonate with, and also who we can connect with personality and presentation wise, right? You could be the dopest coach in the game, been in the game 40 years, millionaire. Then you got somebody who just came on the scene, new in the game, but I connect with that newbie because it's more relatable. I see them in me. They're talking right to me. And the impact could even be more impactful. So, like, literally, we got to stop thinking because blank has this amount of followers or this amount of clout that they're going to give us a breakthrough or a transformation. That's false.
Oh man. And you right now, Coach, you talking to me because I used to be on that. I would literally judge people based upon their follower count.
Yep.
Right. Like you look at someone and automatically, oh my God, they have 100,000 followers. They've got to be doing something right. Now it's true. They probably do have something going on, but it doesn't negate what you have going on. It doesn't stop. And it also doesn't lower you, who you are. One of the things I preach to most coaches is that I say that I'm the number one character and confidence building coach in the world. Now, that's not me stepping on somebody else's neck or stepping on somebody else's toes.
Right.
It's literally me edifying myself, bigging myself up, boosting my own confidence.
Yes.
And it's me telling myself, yeah, I am the best, because the truth is there's only one RJD. There's only one. There's only one LaShana West. There's no other. Now, if there's another one that's trying to be, at best, coach, they're only going to be number 2.
Okay.
At best.
Period.
They can try their hardest and they're only going to be number 2. And why am I so passionate about this? Because I've come in second place a lot in my life. You know why? Because, coach, I was trying to be somebody else. Trying to walk in somebody else's shoes. And the truth of the matter is, I got good at it, but I only got good enough to be second place. But coach, when I found out how dope RJ was, and I realized that there was only one more left, that's it. That is it.
No, literally, that's the breakthrough, right? And that's the hack. And I think it all boils down to authenticity.
Facts.
We think if we be our full self, whether I cuss, use ebonics, or a super professional, that, oh, if I act this way, they're not going to resonate. No, it's false. We need you to act the way you are, because that's who you truly are. And if you put on a front, at some point, you're going to let your guards down and be the real you.
Facts.
That's when they're not going to resonate, because they see that you was out here frauding.
That's a major fact.
So be yourself.
Right. And as we wrap up that be yourself point, I've heard it a lot. And the one thing is, you can't be what you don't know. And I want to leave on that. Yes, be yourself. But if you don't know who you are, take the time to figure it out.
Yes.
Just take the time. Take some moments out of your day, out of your life, to figure out who you are, why you are. And if you need help with that, do yourself a favor. Coach LaShana West gives out an assessment she just spoke about earlier called the D.I.S.C assessment. Please do your future self a favor. Get that assessment. It's going to show you things that you've never seen about yourself. It's going to give you a whole new outlook on yourself. And I promise you, it'll change your life. Why? I've experienced it, and it's changed mine. So, Coach, as we wrap this podcast up, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much, because you came through and set this stage on fire this morning with your bars. But do me a favor before you get up out of here. Let the people know where they can find you, how they can contact you.
For sure. So on the screen, you see at Ms. West Creative Coach. You can also text me. If you text Mindset to 678-336-7756, you can get a complimentary clarity call link immediately right to your phone, and we can assess what you want to work on and see if it's a good fit, because I'm literally the best at helping you to identify who you are, how you truly want to show up, and then create an offer that is in alignment with who you are. So yeah, I want to thank you, RJD, for inviting me on your podcast. Had an amazing time, and I was able to create a couple bars that I could create some content with.
Major fact. You came through and set this stage on fire. So I cannot wait to edit this and then get this one up and out to the world, because this podcast has jewels among jewels among jewels. So once again, Coach, thank you. Your presence on this stage has definitely been felt, and it will be for years to come, because this content is going to last a very long time. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really do appreciate you. Go out there and finish making an impact into the world. We really do appreciate you for coming through the stage today.
Bye, y'all.
Be blessed, Coach. All right, guys. Phenomenal podcast. For everyone out there checking this out, do me a favor. Like, comment, and share. And for anyone out there that's looking to connect with Coach West, information will be down in the description. And she is also on Instagram and all other social platforms. Check her out. She's a phenomenal coach. She's helped me tremendously in my business and my life going forward. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for joining this podcast. And remember, confidence is all about how you see yourself. But guess what? Until the next time I see you, be good to yourself and the ones around you. And if you can't be good to the ones around you, that's okay. Just get those folk from around you. Yo, this is RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman, and this has been the Uniquely Confident Podcast. Y'all be blessed, because I will. Peace, y'all.